Monday before the Super Bowl. Typically, this would be a week off for us, but we are trying something a little bit new, a little bit something special for the Super Bowl. Uh, and you got to do something special for episode 170, right? We just continue to stack these episodes on top of each other. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. We appreciate you being here. Um, Before we dive in, we got to announce our new partnership with Throw London. Obviously, if you're outside of the London area, you probably don't care about what we're talking about, but Throw London, local axe throwing, knife throwing, dart throwing. They said you find somebody with a pointy head, you can throw him against the board. Will find a way to score it for you. He's our guy, so make sure you check him out. We will send out all of his information. Yeah, we had the Pro Bowl. Thursday, we have the award ceremonies, which I don't think anybody cares about. And then Saturday we have the Hall of Fame. Sunday we got the big game. So how are you guys feeling about this one? I gotta tell you, I'm just gonna put it out there right away. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of hype behind the Super Bowl the way that it has in past years.
Yeah, and as weirdly as that is, I think it's because like even though Kansas City is East Coast, I just feel like it's all West Coast hype right now coming out of
Yeah,
San Francisco. We're just not feeling it on this end. Nobody's really caring about a team that's as far away as you can possibly get from
yeah,
us. I think, right? So I think that's really what's kind of behind it. And at the same time, I think it's everybody just going, "Oh well, it's another Super Bowl appearance for Mahomes." Like, I mean, as cool as it
like
is, like God, we're so greedy to think like that, right? Because we're so spoiled
wow.
with Brady and everything. But
I spent a lot. So I on my secondary TV, I just put on NFL Network yesterday, and I watched highlights from basically every Super Bowl from like 2003 until now. And like, there was a lot of really good Super Bowls that I don't remember.
mm.
Obviously, that's courtesy to our friends over at Miller Lite. But yeah, there's a lot of really good endings. Like the Super Bowl that Pittsburgh lost to Green Bay, I believe that was 2010.
Mhm.
That was a way better game than I remember.
Wow, yeah, you've had some time to digest now, right?
No, they lost by 6 points,
Yeah,
and if it wasn't for Mike Wallace, who ultimately went on to be nothing, dropping that pass, they were driving, and this Ben Roethlisberger driving at the end of a Super Bowl has generally worked out. So I'm not saying they deserve to win, but what I'm saying is, I was watching that like I was a little nervous. Yeah, did I remember this game wrong? Is everything in my house wrong? Is the Super Bowl titles different? Same thing with like that Colts and Saints one. But yeah, sorry, go ahead. I keep
Yeah.
cutting you off, obviously.
No, as much as like you're talking about the game not being living up so far, it's like what we would I think you are 100% correct of like just seeing the next one, I guess we'll call them right now.
Yeah,
Um I'm actually pretty pumped about this game, and I like the fact that like I want to see greatness happen. I think it's like I'm like one of the very people like I want the Chiefs to win. Like my dad's probably gonna hate me for saying this, but like
yeah,
we're watching the next person take over, right? And it's a pretty cool thing to see.
Dad's counterpoint is we could be the team that stops that from ever happening again, maybe, right? Stops that in its tracks.
But like it's just one of those things where it's like we're seeing something happen that like realistically
yeah,
shouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
right.
Like you shouldn't go from like arguably one of the greatest football players of all time, depending on how you rate football players, and like in the same generation almost. Like they played against each other.
Right.
It's already started.
Yeah. So I saw an interesting stat during the Pro Bowl, and Kelly just referenced that Baker Mayfield was the Pro Bowl MVP. Um, for Patrick Mahomes, his first regular season loss was against Tom Brady. His first postseason loss was against Tom Brady, and his first Super Bowl loss was also against Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, and then to see it flip now, where he's doing all the same things Brady was doing, with a lower receiving core, just like Brady did, right? And a defense that has been playing very, very good. I mean, the Chiefs' defense really doesn't get a lot of credit because it's always kind of hidden behind Mahomes, but they're doing damn good, aren't they? They do have an injury though. They had a pretty big injury with one of their rushers. I think that,
Yeah,
of course, their guard who's probably not going to be able to play, but that edge rusher is going to be big for them.
yeah. I think that overall, like the Chiefs' defense will be hurt a little bit by that, but they are deep because they've used so many draft picks on defense that um, they have depth. They just might not get the splash play, tear your ACL in the AFC Championship game. That's a
That one stinks.
yeah. I mean, like we all felt for whether you like Odell Beckham or not. Everybody felt for Odell Beckham for what happened to him in the Super Bowl. This guy didn't even get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's almost it's not fair. Kelly disagrees. She doesn't think that Tampa has any money to
We'll
keep
find
Baker.
You find a way to sign your quarterback.
Oh yeah, he's not going anywhere.
There's no way that guy goes anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, franchise tag maybe.
The one that scares me is they're saying Mike Evans wants $30 million a year. It's like we can't eat that.
So I heard that Mike Evans is going to Chicago. I don't know what the connection is. I don't know.
$30 million is the connection.
Do they have a lot of money?
It's just upfront money because he's not going to have that per year. That's just going to be like upfront.
I'll tell you who I thought.
He's getting a 3-year deal.
Who I thought it would make sense. And you're going to get pissed off at Kalen, but Tennessee has a lot of money and they have a huge need, and they haven't had a wide receiver one in I don't know, like how long ago?
If
like
it's not
Kevin
him,
Dyson?
If it's not him, it's T, and that's only because of the new coach connection, right? But and I don't think T's leaving Cincinnati, so that is what I think they're going after.
I think if like for you guys, like I don't want Mike Evans to leave, so maybe I'm being biased.
Yeah,
but I ain't paying that guy $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think at his age you guys should chase him. You're starting something young on your offense. You got a young quarterback,
but he's quarterback friendly, and that's kind of what I like about it.
And it's just one of those things where I'm like, I don't see it. I think, and like, if someone's paying $30 million, oh, like I can't say no to that. But I don't think for your guys' situation, I guess he's already got his ring, so maybe that's why I'm a little biased. Like, if he's gonna leave Tampa, I want him to go win somewhere. That's what it comes down to.
That hurts, doesn't it?
I heard it. I heard it loud and clear.
I'm gonna say it louder for somebody in the back.
No, I got it.
So the reason I thought that Mike Evans made more sense than T. Higgins for Tennessee, and like we'll circle around, but
Super Bowl, by the way, we're right on schedule for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Well, T. Higgins has not necessarily shown up to every game he's played in, and he's not. Would T. Higgins be in the position that he's in right now if it wasn't for Joe Burrow as his quarterback? I don't think so.
Maybe. I agree with you on that one. My big thing is that Tennessee alum, right? Going to school there, it makes sense for him to want to come home to his home. T. Higgins, went to Tennessee.
He went to fucking Clemson.
Oh yeah, what am I saying wrong?
Yeah.
Thinking wrong altogether. My bad. I apologize. Yeah. But is he?
Take it back.
No, he's
Same
from.
color.
He's from Tennessee. I apologize. He's from Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
He didn't play
His
at
dad
Tennessee.
is T. Martin.
Who's that?
T. Higgins.
No, T. Martin. Who is that?
He was one of the Brady Six.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know Peyton Manning didn't win a national championship with Tennessee?
Yes.
Do you know who did?
Who?
T. Martin.
And then the Steelers took him. Yeah.
That was not scripted. That just worked out perfect.
But yeah, that's why I think that he would become.
So, circling back to the Super Bowl and the interesting quarterback news that kind of started surfacing today about the Super Bowl, which is Kyle Shanahan has interest in bringing in Tom Brady next year because he's afraid of Brock Purdy's health situation.
So I thought you were going to say when they say quarterback situation, you're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes' dad being a drunk.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh God!
Don't drive home when the lights go out now.
Yeah.
You can't get a DUI when the street lights are on. It's the rules.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't drinking Miller Lite. I'll tell you that. No, like nobody drinking Miller Lite would make a decision like that.
No,
the Miller Lite is for people that make sound business decisions like us. But yeah, I wasn't gonna go there. But do you not find it absurd that, and words are getting twisted. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan didn't come out and say, "I'll take Tom Brady." But, like, do you not think it's absurd that on the Monday before the Super Bowl, the 49ers have a fake quarterback controversy for next year already?
Well, you got to, like you said, no one's talking about this game. Let's just get those wheels going. Also, why isn't J.J. Watt a Chief yet?
Oh, because I think he said he was only going to sign with the Steelers. Like, I'm not.
He did say that.
I'm pretty sure that's what he had said. Now, there's
Tell me
also
on Saturday if he feels out.
There's also a storyline though that has starting to ground or gain some traction here that you actually put out there, and that was what happens if they lose, and it's the Niners.
Okay,
what happens if they lose, and is this Kyle Shanahan's last game as the Niners coach? Could they go that direction? And one of the things that you could counter that with is that they're leaking a story like this just to something else that could be potentially the problem, not the coach, but we're still dealing with a 7th round quarterback.
Do you think the coach is the problem? Because I don't.
No, I don't at all. I think that he's one of the best coaches in the NFL, and it's not just because he's been blessed by great draft picks.
Should we ask Nick Newman if he feels about that? For his offensive mastermind?
Oh, well.
So that was funny. So Ethan was with me yesterday, and he got to see the highlights of the 28-3 game, and he got to see it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting for him.
But I will also come back to that game and say that I know it's another Super Bowl a long time ago. Who's that?
Nick Newman.
He's asking if we're sponsored by Tim Hortons.
Oh, geez, yeah. Sorry, here.
Yeah, coffee prices are going up.
Yeah. I'll come back to that 28-3 game, and I'm gonna blame Dan Quinn on that. Like if you probably asked Nick, it wasn't the offense certainly shut down, but that defense absolutely fell apart, and that was what got them there through the entire year. That a fantastic defense, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, 28-3. There's no excuse.
I get it.
He's probably thinking, I pop on to these sons of bitches.
Yeah.
But no, I think that, yeah, he's just been blessed with great draft picks and a lot of cap money that's been spent in the right places by good ownership and all that jazz. He gets the most out of his talent. And you've said this 100 times, Chad. The man connects with his team.
100%.
From the get-go, when you were talking about a guy that understands just about, you don't have to explain your life or your lifestyle to your coach. You just who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're from the South or you're from the North. Kyle Shanahan gets you, right?
Right.
I think that's what makes
grew up in that in a culture like that, right? Like he was bred since the day he was born to be a football coach.
Yeah, and athletes have a very unique way of living.
Just wants a message passed along to you.
Okay.
Just 1 yard away.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, because we're here, I'm gonna poll you gentlemen. Is it worse having that 1 yard away or worse being up 28-3 and blowing it?
1 yard away.
No, come on. For 2.5 hours, you sat there celebrating, probably gloating to all your friends, and then watched it whittle away.
No, but the future like, yo, we suck. Like he's like, we sucked in the second half. You guys only were in the game the whole time. You went all the way down the field, and then you just didn't get there. Mm-hmm. That's why.
So on Super Bowl that's upcoming, I placed my first bet yesterday, and I placed it for the show.
Okay.
And I was kind of like lining things up, so I'm just gonna say I parlayed all these. I'm comfortable if you don't want to parlay them. Patrick Mahomes over 25.5 rushing yards.
Yep.
Brock Purdy over 13 or over 12.5 rushing yards.
So I like that one. Did you see the one they put together? Over 55. And I was like, whatever idiot takes that as a moron.
So that's what he got against whoever they just played anyway. Isaac Pacheco, 50 yards rushing. George Kittle, 50 yards receiving. Travis Kelce, 50 yards receiving. Christian McCaffrey, 25 yards receiving. Christian McCaffrey, 60 yards rushing. And Justin Watson to get 1 catch. That's paying out at plus 3,038. That felt good.
It's pretty good. I'm a little bit worried about that Patrick. I know he's been scurrying around for his life here the last few games, but those Niners just shut down quarterbacks getting outside of the pocket to get those yards.
But the thing is, like, he's crafty, and he'll slide up and through, and, you know, like, the way that Pacheco is going to make these guys kind of tighten themselves up, I think that he's going to be able to make it happen. Overall, I mean, it's fun. I'm just going to bet a whole bunch of money.
Can I tell you the best value bet that's out there? Super Bowl MVP is Travis Kelce at plus 1,700.
1,700?
Yeah.
Why?
So I'm going to tell you right now, that is getting some Skittles.
Yeah. So
if this guy has the game that he had last week, well, that's your MVP.
If that's the case, then also go and bet on him to propose. Because if they win the Super Bowl,
no,
he's not going to propose.
No. Nah, he won't do that.
How come? You got inside information?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
I'm saying the value for him to be MVP. If this guy goes and balls it, just so he has like 8 catches.
Is the NFL saying you're the MVP of the league for getting us all this extra revenue?
Well, is that what it is? If he has 8 catches, 100 plus, just say he puts up 2 touchdowns.
But Mahomes has to throw 3 interceptions for it to be.
I'm telling you right now.
That 15-second bite on TV with Kelce with T Swift holding the MVP trophy might be worth a lot of money.
All I'm saying is, if this guy has the game that he had last week, it'd be very hard to not give him that.
Sure.
Right now, he's the face of the NFL. Oh. And Patrick's already got 2.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, you're telling me that if ESPN, who's owned by Disney, has Travis Kelce bring Taylor Swift to Disneyland? Come on now.
Yeah, so Nick and I are kind of on the same page here. I think it's a Super Bowl. I mean, I want the 49ers to win, but a Super Bowl win with the MVP equals a retirement.
100%.
And then all of those things combined he proposes, and then like bracelets are flying everywhere in Vegas. It's just like a wild scene.
Also,
You don't see it?
is there a bet saying does anybody get arrested in Vegas this week?
Like an NFL player?
Yeah.
It would be like minus 20 million. Like,
No, I'm not buying the retirement thing. Still, I think
Really?
just the way that him and his brother have conversed over the last few days, like on their podcast and everything, and it just doesn't seem. You could see that Jason's battling the idea of retiring. You can't see that Travis is even remotely thinking about that.
Because he's
right
still playing.
now. That's what I think it is, but I also think like you argue he's not the best tight end of all time. He's not still okay. He's very close to being up there.
I guess what Delaney Walker is. Is that what you're gonna say?
Gronkowski is clearly the best tight end of all time, and then I would probably put Kellen Winslow Senior maybe as number 2 almost.
like above Tony Gonzalez?
Yeah, I would because of the time in the era that it was. I think I'd have to put him above for sure.
I'm not sure if I can put Gronk above Tony Gonzalez, but I mean,
Whoa, really? Even above Tony? I
Yeah.
was thought you were asking Kellen Winslow above Tony Gonzalez, but like I thought Gronk was the clear and cut above
So-
number 1.
like for Kellen Winslow Senior, I have a hard time putting him as the top when I never actually watched him play.
I also that guy
Like-
fucking cramped down and bitch out of a game. So I have a
Kellen
Matt-
Winslow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different-
Sorry.
We're talking about his dad.
No, it was his dad.
It was just that, yeah,
Oh.
And
yeah.
he fucking cried and his teammates fucking carrying him off the fucking field.
You never seen that
Oh,
shirt
NFL.
where he's getting
I
carried?
guess not.
Yeah, it's
bro,
usually
go drink some fucking water.
yeah,
You're
I
not
think
losing.
it's on
Eat a
NFL
banana.
Network. Yeah.
Get
Like
your shit together.
it's a potassium in it. These things
They
happen.
didn't drug test back then, man.
Yeah.
You could have got done up real good.
My,
Yeah.
my thing is when I look at there was one highlight that I saw just a couple weeks ago when I happened to come across Gronkowski highlights actually, but it was the one where they needed to score a touchdown and it was in Tampa. And it was one of those they knew it was going to go to Gronk 6 plays in a row, and it didn't matter. It went to Gronk, and he still got the touchdown at the end of the game there to win the game. Gonzalez took over some games for the Chiefs, but let's remember that run game that the Chiefs had for the duration that he was there was Larry Johnson, Priest, Holmes was
They
fantastic.
had two
Jamal,
2,000-yard rushers.
actually, was he there for Jamal Charles at the beginning of before
They
he
had
went to
two
Atlanta?
2,000-yard rushers while he was there.
Yeah. And then, like, I'm pretty sure he was there for the beginning of Jamal Charles before he went to Atlanta. But even in Atlanta, he was there with who was the Michael Turner was there, right? He had great running backs where he went build a great passing game off of that. Whereas Gronk they just threw to him. There was no receiver in New England.
So I'm just gonna have a hard time with you telling me that Trent Green is better than Tom Brady. Like
Sure.
we can talk about run game fine, but like is Rob Gronkowski because he played with Tom Brady, or would he have been that same person if he played for Will Levis?
I think that they're going over
Look
the
your fridge.
That's fine. It happens.
they're going over the middle intermediary routes. These aren't big long shots.
I agree.
And I also still would say that Gronk as a rack catcher is far and above better than Tony Gonzalez was as a rack catcher.
Okay.
Right. So if I'm going to say if I get the ball to your hands at 6 yards and you're getting me 30 out of it versus I get it to you for 6 and you get me 13, I'm going to go with that other guy, that other tight end. And again, I have to come back to that highlight. I never saw Gonzalez take over a game where you knew it was going to go to him 6 straight plays like he did in Tampa at the end of his career, not when he was still in his prime.
I think what we're talking I think the the Kansas City Tony Gonzalez is a guy that you're forgetting. You're remembering the Atlanta Falcons Chase the Dream guy.
I remember that, but
And like
I would put Kelsey ahead of Tony Gonzalez.
yeah, I don't understand your
I put Kelsey ahead
big
of all these
excitement.
guys.
He was fantastic, but I just don't know even one. I don't think he's.
Like, I think Gronk and Kelsey go 1A, 1B, 1B4. They're the two best that have ever done it. And I believe that.
okay.
I've never seen a tight end outside of those two guys get the attention they got. Like, Travis Kelsey, I don't know how he's not getting Megatron attention. In the situation like he's in right now.
Could you give me the stats for Tony Gonzalez? And I understand that he played 17 years, and the other two guys combined haven't played 17 years.
But like, I think we're on it's unfair to his stats though, because he didn't play in an offense that there is now. He played in a generation where you could like pretty much bully him down the field and it was okay. So like comparing stats isn't fair. Like his stats are gonna get smashed by these guys.
You think that Gronk has better stats than Tony Gonzalez?
Yes,
I think you're underestimating how many years he played for.
I know he played forever.
Yeah.
The guy's a dinosaur.
Yeah. Like, are you looking that up, Liam?
I'm looking right now.
Sorry, what? Liam or Kalen's on it. It's okay. Like, I think Gronk. I don't even think Gronk has many touchdowns. Like Gronk
Okay,
played
so
8 years.
Gronk-
Tony Gonzalez played 17.
Gronk played roughly double the amount of games. There was 143
Tony Gonzalez
for
played
Gronk.
double the games.
And yes, right, yeah. Tony Gonzalez played 270. Okay. 15,000 yards for Tony Gonzalez with 111 touchdowns. Okay. But Gronk had 9,200, almost 9,300 yards with 92 touchdowns.
Okay.
So in half the games, he was 20 touchdowns short of capping Tony Gonzalez, and roughly half the 7,000 yards.
I think the one we're forgetting. I think George Kittle's going to be in this conversation.
Yeah,
he's really this year specifically is one of those like recency bias things. I think for me, where like, wow, you really showed your age this year,
like,
pal.
George Kittle is to tight ends what Phillip Rivers was to quarterbacks. Like Phillip Rivers would have been a great quarterback if it wasn't for Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Ben Roethlisberger and Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be the 5th or 6th best at something.
As a first time All-Pro this year.
I know.
He does it quietly. I think that's what people don't realize.
I think that, like, I don't know if he had the best statistical year of his career this year, but
Who's this?
George Kittle.
Really? Because
He's
he
an
was
All-Pro.
It felt like he was dirt on my fantasy team. I'm not gonna be
Well,
honest.
that's what I mean. I don't think that he had the best statistics. Like,
He
he
was
was
a
think he
first
did.
team All-Pro.
I think.
But I think 2 years ago he did.
But
And
I
that's
think
when his name kind of like surfaced up.
I think
he had 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Just over
the
1,000.
problem is like the tight ends this year. Like as much as like that's all we talk about now. No one balled out this year as a tight end.
Yeah,
Like Travis Kelce's supposed to be the best receiving tight end in football, and he was not.
agreed.
Mark Andrews got injured.
Yeah.
And George Kittle was pretty good at football.
Dallas Goedert fell apart too.
Dallas Goedert was like, you know what I mean? Like,
would Mark Andrews have probably led tight ends in stats this year?
Yeah.
I mean,
Sam Laporta.
that would be my guess.
Sam Laporta, I guess, went off, but he's a rook.
he is but I do think that Laporta staying healthy puts him into like some different conversations 5 years from now. But like, you can't say he might have had the greatest rookie season as a tight end of all time, but he's not even like they didn't even invite him to
the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
Kittle led the league for tight end reception yards.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was him, Kelsey, then
Ingram, he's a game
Hawkinson.
manager as quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I heard he's pretty good at it though.
And he was second in touchdowns.
Well, what do you guys think about this? I mean, one of the heaviest bet things over the weekend in Vegas was Sam Darnold to win the MVP of the Super Bowl. You guys seen this?
No, this is just literally capping. That's all that is. Just to go and screenshot and send to your friends and say, look at the dumb bet I put in for 10 cents.
Is that what capping means? I was going to ask, but it seems like you might have just explained it to me.
Yeah, yeah. When you
Okay.
say something straight cap, like that's just some messing around there.
Whoa,
Oh.
relax, Josh.
Yeah. Oh,
Bringing in
wow.
the street slang here.
Yeah. Did we just turn into Reddit?
Yeah, we're now the youths.
No cap.
uh,
P. What did he say? It was pushing P.
That was 20.
Oh, he did say that, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means still.
It's not
the
no,
path
yeah.
for him to win the MVP is not far fetched.
It's wild.
What?
Okay, so Brock Purdy opening drive breaks his arm.
Debo falls apart. Ayuk falls apart. CMC
Yeah.
falls apart.
But
Kittle
all
falls
the-
apart.
no,
Oh,
but-
but then there's the last guy, Darnold, that can
No.
get the MVP.
But if Darnold comes in inside of the first quarter, maybe early in the second, and leads the 49ers to win, doesn't throw a pick, so let's say he has 2 touchdowns and 225 yards.
I'm telling you right now, I don't care what stat line you're throwing at me. Quan Alexander has a higher chance of landing the MVP of the Super Bowl than Sam Darnold.
I don't know if that's
Because
true.
my
Not
issue
according
here,
to Vegas, anyway.
my issue here is I don't think that you're going to let that the voters would let some guy come in the second quarter, and if Debo goes off for 90 yards and a touchdown, or Ayuk goes off for 70 and a touchdown, that you give it to Purdy. There's no way. Not Purdy, sorry, too.
I'm looking for this right now. I'm trying to get the odds.
Yeah, it's something crazy. It was like plus.
Give it to a
70,000.
linebacker before they'll give it to him.
I don't know, man. Nick's asking about, so I'm not sure what the joke of the day was. Maybe it was the Sam Darnold thing, but
Sam Darnold plus 28,000 on FanDuel right now.
boom. Throw a couple shekels on there. You never know, man.
Like, you know, there's
It's
some.
just history against quarterbacks and San
No,
Francisco
there's just
getting
some like.
injured.
I think there's just some assholes who are blowing
Yeah.
over $100 in their
Yeah,
life.
it was like the GameStop.
So-
They're game stopping Sam Darnold. They're
They're
trying to put him out there.
They're shorting Sam Darnold.
They're trying to put him out there.
So tell me, because you said that it's an easy
Yeah,
path.
like, look at this.
Explain the easy path to me.
Look at the jump. There's no value in those two guys. You got to go here.
Yeah, Debo or Kelsey feels good. I mean, Pacheco's probably like a no-go.
So like, this is the odds. You got
I might just
Mahomes.
spread all my money through like the MVP
Yeah.
thing. Like one of them's got to win.
So Mahomes is plus 135. Purdy plus 200. Then it jumps right away to CMC plus 450. Then it goes straight to Kelsey at plus 1,700. Debo at plus 2,000. Pacheco at plus 35.
Wow.
And then Ayuk, who I think is realistic,
Plus
Yeah,
5,000.
plus 5,000.
How is he above
Like,
Debo, who has a
literally,
bum
just
shoulder?
put $5 on all those guys.
Yeah.
One of them are gonna hit.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, count me in.
You know what? We got some sponsors. Let's just donate to them. You know.
Yeah. All right, Lane is saying Purdy plus 200 easy. Is that for MVP? Is that what his salary was?
Plus 200.
Yeah. So Lane, what we were talking about, I think he just jumped in, but there was a big run on Sam Darnold being the MVP over the weekend, and I thought that was funny. One, because I mean, it just means he's not going to stay healthy, and two, because that means that Sam Darnold's going to do really well. Oh, you're trying to get like a good branding shot. I like that.
I love how obvious it was.
As he thinks about that, Nick Newman threw out there that the Steelers hired Kalen's ex fuckboy.
I wondered if you wanted to talk about that. Have you looked into this guy at all?
Well, we have the whole offseason.
I have no problem with an offensive coordinator, and like the only thing that I'll say about the whole thing is the Steelers organization is growing because for the first time that I can remember, they're going to have a run game and a pass game coordinator. Those just weren't positions anymore. So it's good for Tomlin for stepping in. I think that this is also leading to a high likelihood of Justin Fields or Russell Wilson becoming a Steeler. Again, we'll talk about that in the offseason. We don't want to get anybody upset, but he needs a running quarterback, and we don't got one of those. So, Tannehill could move. Tannehill was an athlete.
Oh, athlete. All right.
He was.
Yeah,
He was a receiver. Yeah, he was a
Oh
receiver at
God,
Texas
I
A&M.
cannot
Right?
wait to never hear that again. Every broadcast. He was
Oh my God,
he's a
did
former
you-
receiver, you
Did
know.
you see Lane's comment?
What?
Best availability is being available. That's the most coach line I've ever heard. Your best ability is your availability.
Yeah.
Love that guy. All right, so what are we? Have you guys put any kind of bets or anything down for what's going on here? I mean, I looked at the national anthem.
Are we talking like real bets or like the novelty bets?
No, I'm dicking around. Yeah, I mean,
So
I was dicking around on the national anthem. They're at 90 seconds. It's 90 and a half seconds over under.
How many snaps does Kadarius Toney get after his little outburst last week that nobody seemed to talk about in the entire Super Bowl?
Could you imagine if that asshole becomes the MVP?
How does this guy, who had his career salvaged by going to this organization in the first place, have the gall 2 weeks ago to come out and bash the organization like that? You know what I mean? And then delete the post.
What's his relation to Antonio Brown?
I don't know. Does he have one? all I know is that it's just ridiculous that this year I have an opportunity to get a ring and you may even have to participate. I don't want, now that's not an athlete's dream by any means, but like, what are you doing talking up what your coach's decision? This is Andy friggin' Reid, man. It's like, what are you doing?
So
my favorite bet right now that's a novelty is who gets mentioned first in the MVP speech.
oh, what do you think? Do you think it's God?
Number one is God at minus 150.
Okay. Then your teammates?
Then teammates.
Okay. I'm all over this.
I love how the
Organization?
fact that coach is before family.
Yeah.
The organization, and then the last one's the fans. Fuck the fans. They don't get nothing.
Yeah.
So that's when the roar has to happen, right? And you fans.
What I'm saying is like they went back-to-back Super Bowls of the home team winning the Super Bowl, Tampa and then LA, and neither of those two mentioned the fans. So I don't believe that either, Sam Darnold or Brandon Ayuk,
Stop putting that out in
Or-
the universe.
any of those people that have the ability to win the MVP are gonna be like, oh wow, 49ers faithful. Like, no chance.
There's also a bet, will Taylor Swift wear Christian Juszczyk's custom designs?
Well, yeah, 100% because she's just partnered with the NFL. So there's no way that she's not going to
Yeah,
be
that's an
rocking
easy
that.
bet.
Yes,
100%?
Yes is plus money right now.
Then take that, yes.
Yeah.
100% she's going to be rocking that stuff.
Okay, well, I mean,
They're
that's
paying
not what.
plus. Yes is a plus 260 right now.
All right, that feels good. Throw a couple bucks on that. Yeah, like I was looking at, the bet that Chad and I have kind of been into is about touchbacks and will the opening kick be a touchback or not? FanDuel hasn't released it
No,
yet.
they have not.
I've seen it on a couple other places. I gotta tell you, Harrison Bucker is a dickhead, and he screwed me last year. If it's Jake Moody, I'm fully confident that dickhead can't get it past the 20.
Bucker's one of the biggest legs in the league.
Yeah, I know, but last year he didn't kick it deep.
On the opening kickoff,
Last,
he did. Yeah.
last
Yes, he
year
did.
they returned it.
Yeah. And against Tampa returned it.
Yeah.
Because I was in the kitchen. I thought I had 2 minutes still. I thought I could run in there kicking, come out, and I could not.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's definitely one that I keep an eye on, and the betting cards get a little bit silly when we get into the Super Bowl. But I'm feeling like because of what we talked about at the beginning, the hype is low, and it shouldn't be. And the attention seems like it's low. And that could be because we're only 6 days away or whatever. But I feel like I gotta spend some money to really invest myself and enjoy this thing.
Well, it's in Vegas. I mean, you've got to partake, right?
So do you know what the estimate money to be bet on Super Bowl is?
$5 billion.
That's a lot, but right now they're projecting 1.3 billion,
Oh wow.
and that's legal betting. Because there's lots of stuff that's not so that's happening, but it's not supposed to be happening.
It's not legal in all the states yet.
Yeah, and I believe they're only talking about the U.S. because Canada, like Ontario, is the only place, and like Doug Ford ain't releasing those numbers. So the entire USA, $1.3 billion. If they hit, somebody could buy like a sports franchise.
Well, at least it's not going to be that Detroit guy getting his
Well,
cousin to
Sam
bet on his
Darnold.
account anymore, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was the MVP. Some guys are gonna have a great weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
You
Could
know,
you imagine putting $100 down while you're in Vegas and you win 28,000?
we're going to see a tweet photo of somebody putting down 25 cents on that bet and making a millionaire somewhere.
So that's
Always
how math
happens.
works.
let's make it us.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. Just throw $100 on Sam Darnold right now.
Jeez.
What'd you say that was? Plus,
28,000.
we can make some money.
Just put it down as a show.
Yeah,
Hey, we got 5 more years of shows and we hit that.
yeah. We're just like, you get a mortgage and you get a mortgage. Like, we're gonna pay our shit off. I think it's smart. It's sound business, and I think it's a sound business.
We have spent way worse money on stupid things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Remember that time we bought 400 hoodies when we first started? Some of them are still in my attic.
Yeah. We'll break them out. I'm sure someone's a smaller or medium somewhere. Kaylin is rich.
I wasn't an XL.
I'm just kidding.
You definitely weren't a medium either.
No, we found a healthy ground. Like,
This says the guy who sent me the wide receiver 1 shirt that was a small.
Yeah, well, I didn't care if it fit you. I had it fold up nice in the box to present to you.
it was almost better if it was a small, because then you could show your abs like AJ Brown.
So I know that this isn't necessarily Super Bowl related, but it came out during the Super Bowl week. 2 topics that were brought up by Goodell. The Brazil game, pretty cool, I think. Right?
Eagles just got something going. It popped up while we were shooting Rogers show.
Did it say that they're starting their season?
Yeah, they're opening the season Friday night in Brazil, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's a pretty interesting concept to see how that. I don't even know what the football field looks like or anything, but pretty.
I'm sure they're playing on a soccer field. So
yeah.
Do you think Vin Diesel will be there? Because I'm just picturing whichever Fast and the Furious.
They'll be filming number 12 or 20 down there. Now that
I watched number 8 that night. Actually, I watched it yesterday.
At some point, one channel has a Fast and Furious on somewhere. If you surf long enough, right?
Yeah. Want to hear something wild? I know it's way off topic, but it blew my mind yesterday.
I gotta tell you, because I think that Lane just said that DK has better abs than AJ Brown, which we're probably not gonna touch that thing. But I just wanted to make sure that.
Well, to be fair, DK did come to his the combine interview with Pete Carroll shirtless, right? So yeah.
No, I was watching Fast 8 yesterday, and numbers 1 to 8 were on there. Number 10 I could get. No number 9 on any platform.
I also will send you later that there is absolutely no rhyme or reason to how the naming of them goes. Some have Roman numerals, some have multiple words. It's very, very odd.
So I'm not a huge Fast and Furious guy. I don't care. We're going off topic. It is what it is. It's who we are. But they're a great when there's nothing on TV kind of thing to go on. But I was really upset there was no number 9. I've never seen it. But I wanted to watch 8, 9, 10, but now I can't watch 9 anymore.
We have a question from the crowd. Uh, somebody would like to know why Kalen is blushing from the abs comment.
I won't tell you who said it.
Who said it?
I will not tell you.
Regardless, but I wanted to come back. You had said something that was yeah. You said something about they're going to be playing on a soccer field, right? And then that comes into my at least my next statement here that Goodell brought up was I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but MetLife Stadium, which is the number one hated stadium for all football players,
Okay.
won the FIFA World Cup, and they are going to be putting in natural grass for the FIFA World Cup.
I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Players
Goodell,
are pissed.
they are very mad. But so Goodell was asked today, is the intention to get everything to grass? Because if you're going to do that for that, and he came back and said, no, our intention is to get everything to hybrid because we just can't do it. Which is what the Titans have been rocking with this last year. They've tried that with coconut stuff instead. But I think it was just a rather
Put coconut on the field.
I think it was a rather big slap in the
What are the
face at the end of year. You know, when all your players are recovering from the year of their beating, and then you have players that are complaining about the UNLV field practice field this year or this week being incredibly hard and it's taking a toll on their bodies just practicing leading up to the big game. That you then come out and say, "We're not going grass." I don't care. And even though MetLife can do that for that big tournament, we're not doing that. It's a little asinine.
So Joe just popped in here, and I had a question for him, and I was hoping he was going to be here because I want to know how he feels about Tony Romo being in the Super Bowl. No, I think it's his second one.
Did you see Mika and Joku going at each other? They were doing the Madden tournament or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he said, that's just Cleveland being Cleveland, and Joku's like, we're both here. It's just Dallas being Dallas, right? Yeah, I like that.
Romo Hall of Fame. Well, Joe, you're out.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he makes the Hall of Fame because typically,
as a contributor.
No, but typically the guys that jump right into the booth get in there fairly early. And
if that motherfucker gets in the Hall of Fame,
we're going. We have to.
I need a 1 hour show by myself to get it all out.
Just a vent session, then we'll go live after because
Yeah.
the stuff you're gonna say isn't appropriate even for the people that watch us. What else are you looking for the Super Bowl? I mean, obviously, the Super Bowl itself is must see TV. Have you heard of this potential of moving Super Bowl Sunday to Super Bowl Saturday?
Stop it.
I'm not joking.
Who said? For who?
There's shit floating around. I don't know. Because did you know it's
the
also
hangover?
No, it's the most called in sick day.
Yeah, the hangover. Yeah.
Well, grown ups gonna work afterwards.
Yeah, or just plan ahead. You know what's happening. Just book it off, bro.
Shane, you were my boss for a long time.
Yeah.
You've seen me in some pretty rough situations.
I've seen all of you guys in bad situations. And
there were some days I should not have been working anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the college national championship is going to be on a Monday, there is absolutely no reason to ever move it. And even if the college national championship game wanted to move to a Saturday, the NFL owns Sunday. They rent all the other days. I mean, people are going to watch it, but at 6:30 on a Saturday, just isn't going to hit.
Who signed this petition?
Yeah.
I don't know.
What kind of losers are these people?
Saturday night in Vegas? I don't know. That'd be weird.
That's a horrible life choice.
But if they were going to do it, they would have COVIDed it.
You're like one of the only sport, probably the only sport that can pick and choose your day to have it. Just keep it on the Sunday, man. It's been historical that way. It's a good way to end the weekend after everybody hoot and hollered all weekend and having a good time getting ready for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think moving to Saturday is a silly thing to do.
Well, and for me, tradition-wise, I like to watch college basketball a lot on Saturday, and then we kind of ease into the Sunday. But
so Lane asked, since we're talking about Hall of Fame quarterbacks somehow, because Tony Romo's a loser, will never get in.
I think it was because of Ben Roethlisberger being mentioned earlier.
Is Eli Manning going? And I think yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Eli's first ballot.
Yeah,
but I do think that he goes in. But because of the last name Manning, does he get in automatically?
I think he gets in.
Beat Tom Brady twice.
Yeah, and I think he gets in because of New York. Because he was the quarterback of a New York team that also adds that extra level of, I don't know what I'm looking for, but here, hoopla.
Well, how many years away are we from Eli?
Can't be long.
1, maybe 2.
Yeah, it can't be much longer.
So, like, is there going to be another quarterback in his class? Like, because Eli left the year before Roethlisberger left, right? So he would have left 2020.
I guess you have some running like we've talked about it in past shows that they're getting away from it's harder for the running back to get in, but you do have some running backs right now that really I think they have to get in over the next couple of years before somebody like Eli Manning gets in because they'll never get in if he gets in.
I was listening to Mad Dog Sports Radio yesterday, and they were talking about current running backs who can get in the Hall of Fame. Currently active running backs.
Christian McCaffrey.
2 were said.
What were the names? Because I don't even think Derrick Henry's one.
He was the only other name.
Yeah, I don't even think
It was
he's one.
CMC and Derrick Henry said those are the only 2 that have an actual chance.
I think that's just recency because of how pass heavy this league is.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So Joe's got a couple things on it, and then we'll circle back to this topic because I think it's an interesting one. Joe is asking how a Steelers fan feels about not wanting another team in the 6-ring club. I'm okay with it. I mean, it's kind of lonely being here with just the Patriots. Nobody wants to talk to the Patriots. No one likes the Patriots. I got no problem with the 49ers. I'd probably rather hang out with the 49ers than anybody that's a Patriots fan.
Would you rather the Chiefs get the ring though and get one step closer to that club of 6? Because you know it's coming.
Like, does it matter if the club starts to fill up if you were still the first one there? You know what I mean? Like, you were still the first one to the top of
These are like these shame lines that like you just sit there and you go, well, that was all right. I get what you're saying.
like you were the first one there.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong is the guy who's everyone remembers.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Chat on this one.
Well, who was the second allegedly?
I don't know.
Exactly. And who was the third? No one gives a shit. Yeah.
Well, we just got way off topic.
Yeah. Well, Joe
That's
asked the
even for
question.
us.
Joe asked the question. We couldn't help ourselves. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. Yeah. It's. I guess the Steelers will be the first one to 7. I don't know. There has been the stairway to 7 for a while, but anyway, back to the Hall of Fame conversation because there are going to be some Hall of Fame announcements made on Saturday.
I already pulled it up.
You did?
Yeah,
I love that.
Ahead of the game.
So, go
go
ahead. No.
So we have Eric Allen, corner. He's been on the board forever, though, so he's probably not going to get in. Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Jamari Evans, Dwight Freeney, Antonio Gates, Rodney Harrison, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Julius Peppers, Fred Taylor, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Lewis, and Darren Woodson.
Okay, well, like to me, Reggie Wayne's in, and I would also think that Torrey Holt is in.
So those 2 guys have been on the ballot forever. Already. Like, Torrey Holt's been he retired in 2009.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we're looking at this,
So
it's either Jared Allen, Dwight Freeney, or Julius Peppers, right? Like it's one of those guys. Like they're not all in. Patrick Willis is a guy that I would think should be in.
I think he's going to be punished for how long he played, though, which isn't fair. But
didn't he step away early too?
Antonio Gates, another guy that we forgot about when we were talking about tight ends. But
I didn't forget about him. But he's not even the best Charger tight end. Kellen
when it comes down to it, like a groundbreaking thing, and I know Chad's on the same page about this, like Devin Hester, the way that he played,
he has to be in.
Like, just because you didn't have a position doesn't mean you're not a Hall of Famer.
You change the way that people played special teams. Like, if you change a game, to like the point where like we will not kick you a ball, but yet you still hold every record for that skill.
Right.
How are you not in the Hall of Fame?
And like
the kickoff was moved up because of him.
Yeah. Well, they changed the game for safety because people were getting so injured trying to like stop guys like him, and now the kickoff is basically out of the game. So like, if they were ever going to have somebody that just played that position and was that guy, like that's him. There is no other guy out there that could do that. So, to me, if you're gonna put a kicker in, which a deserving kicker is,
there was somebody like him back when we were younger, though, at Kansas City.
Yeah, Dante Hall.
Yeah, he did everything. He did the running the backfield, did the skirty kind of stuff they do now.
Devin Hester smashed every record that Dante Hall had.
But remember, there was a streak there where I think Dante Hall had like 5 touchdowns. Remember that in their 10-win streak they had there that 1 year. But he was fantastic too.
So I think, this is gonna sound disrespectful. The class that is up this year is kind of weak. So they're going
to star.
yeah, they're gonna fish for the names that people remember. So Eric Allen, I'm sorry, until I went over and looked, I didn't even know which team you played for. Like it's just not happening for you. But I think a guy like Antonio Gates, um, a guy like Jared Allen, like those are personalities that were a big part of the last 25 years of football.
I didn't realize that Julius Peppers would be considered a Hall of Famer. Like he was
Yeah.
good at football. I never thought he was like the premier pass rusher every year.
Yeah, I mean like the real, and we're not gonna dig into the people that aren't on there, but like it's a shame to me that like James Harrison isn't sitting on that list. Like he wasn't a draft pick. He was a undrafted free agent. He had a pile of sacks, and up until this year, he was the Steelers' all-time leader in sacks. That's a pretty big deal when it comes to like being an outside linebacker for Pittsburgh. He didn't play 50 years at the highest level because he had to work his way to get there, but there was rules change for him. There was rules change for guys like Heinz Ward. Uh, rules change for guys like Vontez Perfect. Perfect is a bad example. For a guy like James Harrison to not even make the finals, to me, is a little bit embarrassing.
I'm more shocked that Heinz Ward from the Steelers isn't in the conversation.
Yeah,
Because when he retired, he was inside the top 5 in all major categories.
exactly.
I'm gonna counter you there, and I only think it's because he's not even. I know he's the sack leader for the Steelers, but like he's like 40 away or 50 away from even getting into the top 20 in sack leaders of all time.
Okay.
It's a significant drop off. I would almost compare him into the Titans role that I'm looking at as Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson played a fuck of a lot to start his career, almost broke some records, had really good games, and then fell off at the end. Whereas James Harrison had to work his way to get to those sacks, and they both just kind of.
To me, I compare him to Terrell Davis. They both had spurts of being the best player in the league for 4 years. And I think Terrell Davis only played 6 years total. Terrell Davis is in the Hall of Fame. No one even batted an eye. He won a couple Super Bowls. James Harrison won a couple Super Bowls. When you're on two of the most historic defenses of all time, and you own I guess it's not the longest play in Super Bowl history anymore, but when you owned the longest play in Super Bowl history, in my opinion, whether you put him in or not is one thing, but to leave him out of the finalist ballot to me is a little bit shameful.
So I'm gonna stand corrected. I just found this out right now. Julius Peppers made the All-Decade team in the 2010.
Doesn't he? What does he have? 200 career sacks? How many sacks does he have?
I don't think he has that many. Any means, but no one has 200 career sacks.
Yeah. Bruce Smith does.
He has 200?
Yeah, 159.
So how many does James Harrison have? I think it's like 89 or something like that.
84.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm looking at the list right here, top 20 ends at 173. So that's where it's like Chris Johnson was fantastic. He's 50 touchdowns off of hitting the 100 touchdown list, which is what most running backs bare minimum need to hit in order to even be qualified. Whereas an edge rusher, their most important stat in fork is sacks. Like it's how they're going to be viewed, right?
To me, like for an edge rusher, that position almost didn't even exist when he was out there. Like they were still stand up linemen at that point. Like the position of edge has kind of come in vogue in the last 8 years. And like they're actually calling guys edge rushers now in the draft because of guys like, it's not just him, but like guys like him.
Well, I would say that's more because the better defenses over the years, starting with the Steelers, is one of them. But the better defenses over the years have gone stand up with their outside backers, allowing that disguising ability, right?
Because now it's a copycat league, right? Like you see one team do it well, and then you're going to copy it. Like I said, I'm not saying like he should have been a slam dunk first ballot. But I'm saying like you look at that list.
Jabari Evans is probably the offensive lineman going in,
right?
And like it sucks because offensive linemen get no love.
Who was the other ones that are off there?
Willie, offensive lineman,
yeah,
Willie Anderson. He's been eligible since 2013. Hasn't gotten it.
That's crazy.
Other than that,
he was on KC for those rushers, right? And then who else was he on? Willie Anderson.
Willie Anderson was, he played for the Bengals and the Ravens.
Can't think of somebody else then. Who was that amazing tackle they had there when Bruce Thomas and Larry Johnson was there?
Joe Thomas?
No.
Not Joe Thomas. Fisher came late.
Yeah, Fisher was later. Yeah. I know who you're talking about, but I think he isn't the guy that you're talking about. I think he isn't. And yeah, I mean, who on that class is going to make it? I mean, we're going to see. Like, what do they pick? 5 of those 12 people?
Yeah, it's Saturday night. They pick them.
So, I mean, predict your 5 right now. Like, if you're looking at it,
Like Reggie Wayne.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm going to say Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Jamari Evans, probably Jared Allen.
Yeah, and like,
Maybe if they get more, Antonio Gates.
I'm going to look at just like pure storylines. So, I'm going to say Patrick Willis, Torrey Holt, Devin Hester, Antonio Gates, and Dwight Freeney. Like, I don't know.
You just have 80% of the vote. There's no limit on how many gets in. It's usually between 5 and 7, right?
They're gonna limit it, and like if you have 12 finalists, like 12 guys aren't getting in, and like it is what it is, right? But overall, there's nothing super exciting about that. I mean, we have the award show on Thursday. I don't know how you guys feel about the award. I think that this whole award show is gonna get botched. Lamar Jackson's not the league MVP.
He's gonna get it.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think a guy like
when you're not nominated for offensive player of the year, but you're the MVP, I think it really bothers me a lot.
yeah. Well, that is a problem. I agree. And is he the MVP? Like, could any other quarterback take that team and make them the 1 seed? Probably not. But that you don't give somebody the MVP because they have a shitty roster and bad coaching. Like, it's just not something that happens. So I don't understand that. I would give it to McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's the MVP.
Yeah, unanimously. And a guy like Dan Campbell, there shouldn't even be a vote. He should already have the trophy. Like, he's the coach of the year. He fucked up and he lost, but you got the Detroit Lions as far as the NFC Championship game. That's a big deal.
To the third quarter of the NFC Championship.
And like when you look at the guys that are nominated around him, like you want to give it to D'Amico Ryans because like that's a great season. Kevin Stefanski's in the mix. Like that doesn't even make sense to me
because of the quarterback situation.
Yeah, comeback player of the year. There's no reason it should be DeMar Hamlin. No. It should be Baker Mayfield like running away, and like I still might even bet on that because I think you can.
Yeah, you can. The minus money on DeMar Hamlin makes me realize like they're gonna give it to him.
Yeah,
but like I don't sound like a complete asshole. Like this guy started the year before, and he came in and only played in the specialty role only.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Like you're not comeback player of the year. Like you could get cut next year.
He was a healthy scratch. The only reason, and like, look, we're not burying the guy, right? Like he did a big thing, but the only reason he didn't get cut this offseason is because of all of this. He's not.
He wasn't a starter of the year. He was a starter due to the fact that his whole team got injured.
Correct, and I get it. And the NFL loves their storyline, but
it has to be. Baker Mayfield is the comeback player of the year.
And if it's not Baker Mayfield, it might be Joe Flacco.
Oh, Joe Flacco, yeah.
But you can't give it to him.
He only played 3/4 of a season. Or a quarter of a season.
Just throw a little wrench in there. I think MVP, Tyreek Hill. I know his team they're really close in like scrimmage yards and everything.
Yeah.
One team won. That's the difference.
One team won, but one team also fell apart when Tyreek Hill went down. That team they lost to Tennessee in home once Tyreek Hill got injured, and the next 3 games were never the same for them, right?
That was a wild streak of it was like 9 consecutive Mondays that the underdog won.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. Like even all the way up until the Bucks beat the Eagles in the wild card.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, that's my sneaky. I feel he actually may deserve it. And the only reason I say it is because I know the running back I've given a courtesy to in the past that they start 5 yards behind the line, so they got to make more work. But Tyreek Hill starts a lot of the time behind the line too and makes his own work, and he's a small body too.
Well, and he was ridiculous in the flag football, and I don't know. Like, I mean, we're not gonna.
Can we just real quick before we get out of here because I know we're just rambling at this point, so we're idiots. Is it gonna be fair if the NFL can put guys in the Olympics?
Oh, for flag football?
Yeah.
No.
Could you imagine some poor soul from Europe having the coverage salary?
Like, the best comparison to that is the women's Olympics hockey. Because, like,
But at least there's 2 teams in there.
Yeah, Canada or the U.S. is winning. Like, there is no Canadian... Like, Chase Claypool will be on the Canadian flag football team.
In New Zealand, maybe we'll put something together.
Stop it.
They got some speed,
Yeah, the rugby guys.
right? That's what I'm talking about. The New Zealand All Blacks teams, they're amazing.
Patrick Mahomes is playing quarterback
Tyreek
with
Hill.
Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
Jamar Chase.
Like, someone's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that if one of the All Blacks guys lays Tyreek Hill out, he ain't getting up. But, like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm like, who's scheming up this offense?
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me you're going to give Andy Reid or a guy like Kyle Shanahan, hey, we're going to play flag only, and you can put your speed in motion however you want.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about final thoughts from the Super Bowl, we all have picked who's winning what, right? I think that Andy Reid is coaching his last game in the NFL.
You mentioned that. Yeah.
I think he's going to stick around as long as he has that guy throwing the football.
That's exactly why I think Kelsey's sticking around. You have the potential to go down as the best tight end of all time, which you are not yet. Why would you ride that wave with your buddy?
He has one. If
Your body's
Kelsey
not
comes back, he has 1 year. Because I looked at his contract. Cut him next year, they save money. If he plays next year, they cut him the following year. It literally cost them only $2 million and they saved 13. So, does he play one more year? Maybe.
Right.
But, like, this guy wins a third Super Bowl. He has every record for his position.
Well,
And he's got no knees left.
they got to win first. Oh, so you're going Kansas City?
I'm going Kansas City.
Oh, shit. Don't tell Eli.
He'd be so mad.
Yeah.
It's past his bedtime, though. So
Yeah, I'm going to send him.
I don't think he knows how to use the internet, so we're all right.
I'm going to send him to him on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, I'm going 49ers, but yeah, I do think that Andy Reid's coaching his last game.
I can't go against Patrick Mahomes. That's it.
So just now that Eric Bieniemy's free again, he gets to come back to Kansas City and take over the team.
I wouldn't surprise me if Bill Belichick was the coach of the Chiefs next year.
They'll never win again. I'd retire from this season.
Edelman was kind of on the opposite side. 35%. They'll be 35% better immediately. Belichick was your coach. That's what he said
Wow.
today.
Well, the only team that's left to do that is either the 49ers or the Chiefs. So,
Yeah.
so I don't imagine, regardless of the way the game goes, if Kyle Shanahan gets fired, even though like the rumors are out there. But I do think that if they lose, I think Andy Reid comes back. But if they win, Andy Reid just rolls off into the sunset.
I'm saying 27-24. Chiefs to 49ers.
Okay.
Mm-mm. There is going to be a mistake here, and one of these teams is going to take advantage. I think the Chiefs are going to win, but I think they're going to 27-14.
I'm going to say that the 49ers win 31-21.
Mm.
And it's going to be a way closer game than that, but the 49ers are going to score one late to pull it away.
I just don't think they can put 31 points up on that Chiefs defense.
I mean,
That's like, I've never picked the Chiefs because of their defense, but that's why I'm picking
think that they got
them. And
enough
the
guys out
49ers
there.
cannot stop the run.
There's nobody out there that can cover Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, and Kittle. And as long as they get a little bit of time.
According to Canada, New Zealand All Blacks could. So.
Yeah. I think they would be in deep. The New Zealand All Blacks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like football. They might be in trouble.
So, yeah. So, final guess, and then we'll sign off. Who is the Super Bowl MVP?
I already made my call. Travis Kelce, baby. Plus 1,700.
I thought that was your
Disney
call with
wants
your wallet. I just didn't know if you were making the call with your.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Disney. That's my Disney call.
Okay.
Mhm.
Pacheco.
I like that.
Oh, that's plus 3,500. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Whose wallet's in it now?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna sprinkle regardless. I'm not actually thinking that Sam Darnold's gonna win. But I would say for the 49ers to win, Brandon Ayuk has to have an amazing game. And at plus 5,000, I'm all about that value. And I love when the voters like disrespect the quarterback. So I'm gonna say Brandon Ayuk wins it. First receiver in quite a while, right?
Yeah, I can't think of the last one. What was it?
Well, I mean, Heinz Ward won one, and so did Santonio Holmes.
That's
so
something. Was Holmes the last one?
maybe.
I can't think of another receiver since then.
But I mean,
Guess we'll find out.
that was just like the voters hating Ben Roethlisberger and his off-field activities. But
Alleged.
that is a good place for us to finish off. Sign off. Are you guys coming back next week?
Yeah, we're back next week.
All right. So we will be for a post Super Bowl show next week. And everyone enjoy the game. We'll post a few things, post a few bets. Chad will be all active in the socials. And we will see everyone next week.